G'day trainers and welcome back. This is going to be the Pokemon Horizons episode 3 review. It is titled, If I Am With Nyoha, I Bet. Now, Nyoha is just the Japanese name for Sprigatitto. From what I can see, there isn't really an English title yet. That kind of is just the English title for now. In the last episode, we got something pretty interesting happen. We had Liko arrive on the Brave Asagi, which was the airship for the Volt Tacklers, the Rising Volt Tacklers. We got properly introduced to Freed, to Murdoch, to Molly. We saw some other adjacent characters that we get better introduced to this episode, such as Ludwig. Ludlow. Not Ludwig, Ludlow, the old fisherman, as well as Molly. As well as Orla or Oreo, my personal favorite member of the Rising Volt Tacklers. She's the engineer, she's the mechanic of the Brave Asagi and of the Rising Volt Tacklers, and I love her. She might be my number 2 most simped for anime character now. Right after Yamato from One Piece, it's definitely going to be Orla. She's just the best. I love her. She's great. She's cool. I like it. This episode actually kicks off with a little bit of a flashback. We start off with Liko and her grandmother. Now, we sort of see the grandmother, and I'm sorry to say, it does not look like Delia Ketchum. So there's a good chance she's not Ash's daughter. I want it. I really, really want her to be. I think one of the most amazing things Pokemon could do right now is make Liko Ash's daughter. And I'm talking give us a 20-year time skip. Because think about it. Me, I'm about the age of the average original Pokemon fan. I'm 30 years old now. I've been watching Pokemon since I was like 7 or 8 years old. Ash was 10. Give that 20-year time skip. That makes him 30. That makes him relatable to parents like me. Ash is a parent now. Me, a lot of other Pokemon fans that are my age are parents now. It would just be a really, really good way to sort of bring everything back together. You'd be getting this amazing connection between old school Pokemon fans, new Pokemon fans, especially like me, my children, my eldest. I'm getting her into Pokemon. She's loving it. She knows how to manipulate me now because all she has to do is say, "Oh, Daddy, I really like Pikachu," or "Can I get this Pikachu something?" And no matter what I do, she knows she's got it. Yeah. However, just because she doesn't look like a Delia Ketchum does not mean she's not Ash's daughter. This could be the mother's mother. This could be the maternal grandmother. Who could her mother be? Look, Ash is, it's not typically a harem protagonist, but Ash has had some girls. Look, I imagine it's not Misty. We know it's not Misty. Misty can do better than Ash. You know, I take that back. Misty would be a pretty damn good waifu for Ash. She was there for him a lot. Obviously, his most compatible partner was probably Serena, but I don't want to get into that. There's a whole weird section of the Pokemon fandom that are a little too hyper-fixated on Ash and Serena. I want to make it clear, I'm talking about if there was a time skip, if they were 20, 30 years old, not as their 10-year-old selves. We're not about that life here. But it could be. Look, we've seen the grandmother now. We know the grandmother's from Paldea, because Liko's from Paldea. Well, we know Liko's from Paldea. The grandmother might be from Paldea. I apologize for this. This is my work computer. I've got a system on it called Caffeine, and it just sort of keeps it active, and that's what you can see right now. So in this flashback, we're seeing Liko's grandmother and Liko talking about the pendant. The really, really, well, I was going to say cute pendant, but I don't need to describe it. This whole series is about the pendant so far. And she says something to the lines of, "I can't wait for you to go on your journey in the future with this pendant." So I don't know. I'm not sure what that's kind of getting. That feels like a weird line to me. I can't wait for you to go on the journey with this pendant. So it's not like it's just a piece of jewelry. We obviously know it's not. We have that Pokemon that looks like Terrapagos in there. But has it just been trapped in this pendant all this time? It has to be a Pokemon. Unless it's kind of like a Porygon situation. It was a man-made crystal. Oh. could this Pokemon be responsible for terastallization? Like it's like it's an entity that it's I don't know, its power had leaked out and become the terastallization phenomenon in Paldea, maybe, but we kind of think that the terastallization is due to it's due to the Area Zero, the big crater in Paldea. I'm not sure. That's really exciting to think about, though. Grandma's no slouch, though. Liko's grandma has got a giant Arcanine with her. Yeah, big Arcanine. I can't wait to see Liko's grandma. I just want to know who she is. It's exciting. I hope you guys are loving it. I am absolutely loving it. It's everything. It's everything we wanted, guys. All right. Liko wakes up. She's asleep. So that's it. She wakes up, but then remembers what happened at the end of the last episode. After the explorers and the Rising Volt Tacklers were having their battle with Amethio and Freed on top with Captain Pikachu and Ceruledge, and then Sprigatitto used Leafage and just kind of messed everything up. Dude, there's something up with Sprigatitto's Leafage, by the way. It seems it's a bit too powerful. And I feel like there's a few references to that so far, but look, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, so she wakes up and remembers at the end of the last episode, Sprigatitto was kidnapped. Sprigatitto fell off the Brave Asagi and was picked up by Corviknight and Amethio and the explorers and was stolen. And of course she's sad. So she gets up, she goes to leave, and this is really where we find out that Orla, I keep getting Orla and Molly mixed up, where Orla's the mechanic. She's working on the Brave Asagi, looking after repairs. She's got a big Metagross, man. So far, it looks like if we're talking power levels, I would have to say, obviously, Freed's going to be the most powerful of the Rising Volt Tacklers because he's got Captain Pikachu and his Charizard. Then we've got Orla. She's got a big Metagross. We see later in the episode she's got an Elekid. We know she's got a Slugma and was it a Carkol? I think it was a Carkol. So she's no slouch, man. She's no slouch. She's got some Pokemon with her. I'm sure she can throw down if she had to. So Orla's checking out the Brave Asagi, seeing what damage there is, if there's anything that needs to be done, anything that needs to be repaired, and then she's like, have we heard anything? Liko is like, have we heard anything? What's going on? And they say, look, Freed's out following them. Freed is tracking them down. He's on his back with Lizardon, the Japanese name for Charizard. By the way, Charizard's cool, but Lizardon, that's baller. That is a cool name. So they're out searching, they're tracking them down, and yeah, we kind of get just some small stuff, nothing huge to the story, but it's just Liko saying, look, thanks for letting me sleep, thank you for washing my school uniform, because that's all she's got, man. She was a runaway. She hasn't got anything packed, she hasn't got a bag. So yeah, it's all washed, she's good. Now, we're unsure if we're still in Kanto, because they've been over the water for a long time. And I'm trying to think, off the top of my head, there aren't a lot of port towns that we saw in the games or anime. Now, obviously, there's a lot more towns in Kanto than just, the key ones with gyms that we see throughout the anime and the games. But if we're talking port towns, there's really only one port town or port city in all of Kanto, and that's Vermilion City. That's with Lieutenant Surge, that's where all the cargo ships are. But it's not mentioned if where we are heading is Vermilion City. But look, we're probably still in Kanto. I don't think a lot of time has passed. Actually, you know what? If it's only the next day... No, look, if it's only the next day, we're still in Kanto. It's just not explicitly said, and it doesn't exactly look like Vermilion City. But again, if this is like a 20-year time skip, who knows? The Kanto region could have changed. It could have. Maybe we're on like an outlying area of the Sevi Islands. Maybe we're near Johto. Who knows? It's fun to think about, but it's not exactly integral to the story yet. Now, Freed comes back and lets him know he's tracked him down to a port town. Liko, she just jumps in. She's like, look, can you drop me off there? I need to go find Nyaha, Sprigatitto. I like Sprigatitto's Japanese names. Nyaha, it's cute. It's pretty cute. And Freed's like, yo, hold up. Give me a little bit of time. Just give us a little bit of time, because we were hired to be your bodyguards by your mum. The Rising Volt Tacklers didn't just randomly show up. They were specifically hired by Liko's mother to be her bodyguard and escort her back to Paldea. So that's how they fit in, and Liko's like, what? Nani? It's gonna be a running gag. Freed does not like to fill in anybody on information. He forgets a lot, or he just seems like he's an alright dude. Like he's just hanging out, man. There's nothing wrong. He's just hanging out, and he's gonna forget to tell you some pretty important key pieces of information. Look, we continue on. We get to the port. We land there, and we split up into 3 different groups. So Freed and Murdoch are going to head off and search down for the explorers. We have got Molly and Liko. They're going to go to the Pokemon Center. Molly's the girl with pink hair. Really apathetic look. She's got a really cool Chansey sports jacket. They're going to go to the Pokemon Center. They've already placed an order. She says it's just for some potions, but it's more than just some potions. We don't see exactly what, but it's more than potions. So it's just going to be general supplies. And finally, we have Orla and Ludlow remaining on the ship. Orla's heading back up to see if there's any further repairs that the Brave Asagi needs. And Ludlow, he's just going fish. He's just going to stay fishing. My man is a fisherman. He lives a simple life, and he's happy with that. Yeah. We get to the Pokemon Center, so we skip off and we focus on Liko and Molly first. And something I'm really happy about, we've got the old school style of a Nurse Joy. It's not the newer styles. It's just old school Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, real early generation Nurse Joys. And I'm so happy to say it. It means it's probably going to be the same for Officer Jenny as well. I'm hoping that means we get to see Officer Jenny's with Growlithe. Because obviously in Johto we saw a lot with Spinarak. I think we saw a lot with Spinarak and Ariados because they could obviously tie up their opponents. But yeah, as time went on, we had sort of less standard or less standard Pokemon that they went with. Back in the day, every Nurse Joy had a Chansey, every Officer Jenny had a Growlithe, and that was it. And I'm kind of happy to see it again, man. Again, I'm an old Pokemon fan. I'm stuck in my old man ways, but it's nice to see. Now, while everyone has split up, we've got the team searching out the explorers. We've got the other team searching out the Pokemon Center and handing in the receipt, the order. We see that one of the explorers has stayed behind to spy on the ship. Now, that is, what's his name? It's Zir or Zer, Z-I-R, or anyone that's not Australian, Z-I-R. He's the guy who had the ride-on battle with Liko back on episode 1. Now, multiple times I said it was Amethio that had the ride-on. It's not. That was my mistake. It was Zir who battled with ride-on. So, as of the moment, the teams we've got, I don't know what those lights are that keep flashing up in the back. I've got a window here, so maybe it's just cars going by and it's reflections. So at the moment, we know Amethio, he has Skarmory. No, he doesn't. He has a Corviknight, and he's got his Ceruledge. We've got Zir, who's got Rhydon and Skarmory, and we've got the lady. Her name is Konia. Oh gosh, what's her name? Her name is Konia, Conia. And all we know is she has got Skarmory as well. So, while they're doing, he's just staking out the airship. And that's what we see, man. That's what we see. We see he's staring, he's watching, he's looking at Ludlow fish. That's it. We cut away, and it's Nidothing. Yeah. Nidothang makes their return, and it's just in a very short video. Liko's watching it at the Pokemon Center, and it's just Nidothing explaining what a Pokemon Center is, explaining that there are many different types of Nurse Joy, and different companion Pokemon such as Chansey, Blissey, Ordino, Indeedee, or Esper was there, and it was just a very brief introduction. It was kind of nice. It was a little bit of world building, and just, again, showing how content creators and streamers are being integrated into the Pokemon world now. Now, while Liko is watching this, a young girl runs into the Pokemon Center carrying an injured Vulpix in her arms. She's very upset, and she's like, Nurse Joy, you need to help my Vulpix. And of course, it's her job. She's a doc. Actually, She's not. She's a nurse, because we know Pokemon doctors are a real thing in Pokemon. And because we all remember that time that Jessie was flirting with the doctor and ended up getting needle stuck and passed out. Early Pokemon was wild. So yeah, Nurserie's like, look, I need to go deal with this Vulpix. Can you wait a little while? And Liko's like, of course I can. She tries to comfort the young girl who brought the Vulpix in, and she's like, look, it's my fault. I was too inexperienced. I wasn't able to properly command my Vulpix in battle, and it led to it getting hurt. Vulpix was the first Pokemon I ever caught. And this doesn't really have any payoff. Not yet, anyway. Not in this episode. We see Vulpix does essentially and eventually get healed up perfectly, but it's not like it was hurt because of the explorers. It's not something that was led to that degree. It wasn't hurt in a gym battle that we know of. It was hurt in battle, and this young girl's inability to properly command Vulpix. Now after that, we skip to the explorers. And we do see that Amethio is around, and he doesn't seem to be an immediate threat to Sprigatitto. Like, he's not threatening to hurt Sprigatitto. He's not caging it. It's having a good time. Honestly, Sprigatitto's having a time of its life. However, you do still get the sense that he's a dangerous dude. You don't want to mess with him or push him too far, because he probably would hurt Sprigatitto or Nyauha. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the issue. Liko is really worried. I know I'm skipping back and forth a little bit, but Liko's really worried that after seeing the Vulpix get hurt, that the same thing's happening to Sprigatitto because of Liko's inability to properly command Sprigatitto and Yaha on the Brave Asagi during the battle. That's what led to Sprigatitto being captured. The exact opposite's true, though. Konia, the female member of the Explorers? The female member of the Explorers is having the time of her life. She has fallen madly in love with Sprigatitto. She's getting all cutesy about it, and she's just having a great time. Sprigatitto is getting fed feasts and all this cat Pokemon food. She's just having a great old time. We do skip back to the Brave Asagi, and Ola is working on the repairs. That's where we see she's got the Elekid, and, well, that's kind of it. The Elekid's patched up and connected to the Brave Asagi doing the electrical work. She's got a lot of utility Pokemon. We discussed it before. There are tons of utility Pokemon in the world that we've never really considered, or at the very least, I've never considered. And she's, just putting them to work, doing a great job. And that's it. It was just a very small transition back to the Brave Asagi to see what Ola's up to. We cut back to the Pokemon Center, and that's where we see Vulpix is fine, and Nurse Joy then passes Liko the entire order, and it's like 6 boxes high. It's a huge order. It's more than just potions. They're different sizes, so it's a lot of rations. It's a lot of supplies. She leaves the Pokemon Center to give, or at least to meet back up with Molly, who Molly had let her just go into the Pokemon Center to do it herself, and they meet up again. But just as she's about to, I guess, head off with Molly, woof, 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 we see that we hear that Rockruff has located something. Rockruff apparently has a really good nose. He's the puppy Pokemon, of course he does, and he's been hunting down Sprigatitto's scent. And we hear it. He's barking up a storm. Liko sprints. She throws the boxes into Molly's arms, and she is off. She's hunting down this Rockruff voice to see what has been found. And yeah, Rockruff found Konia, again, the female member of the Explorers, in very casual clothes, almost a disguise, walking out of the supermarket with just tons of Pokemon food, lots of feast food for Sprigatitto. But it's not just Liko that gets there. Freed and Murdoch also show up, and it is on. They are about to throw down. They are not letting her get away. She gets on the phone, as in not Molly, Konia gets on the phone. It's like, Amethio, I've found them. Hold on. They found me, more accurately. And Amethio's like, lead them this way. Run. Meet us. Bring them back here. And she does. She starts running. Right after this, though, Amethio gets on the phone to Zir, the other member, the ride-on haver of the Explorers, and is like, hey, get back here now. It's about to go down. He throws a device onto the Brave Asagi, like he throws it. And it's either one of two things. It's either a bomb which it sounds like a bomb. I don't think so. I think more likely it's a tracking device, because if they get away, they need to be able to track them down. So I'm pretty sure Zir has attached a tracking device onto the Brave Asagi. Let's see how that rolls out later on in the series, or maybe just on in the next episode. Chasing them down. We don't know where Murdoch went. He's bailed somewhere. We don't know where Murdoch is, or we don't know where Molly is. But Liko and Freed, they've arrived at the warehouse that the explorers are held up in, and they hush down. They start to talk about a little bit of a plan. We don't get to hear what that plan is. I don't think you're going to be too surprised at what it is, though. But that's it. They make a plan. We don't get to hear, and they enter the building, and they see Amethio standing there. He's waiting for them. Amethio is like, I see you've arrived. And Liko, I think we've all started to really understand this is just going to be her character, though. She's like, here's the pendant. You give me Sprigatitto back now. Amethio's like, yeah, okay. But Freed is like, hold your horses, girl. That's not the way this is going to go down. And Amethio's, Freed is like, let's have a Pokemon battle. Unless you're scared. That's right. He challenges Amethio. He challenges his courage. And it was great. He's like, look, if Amethio's like, look, fine. If I win, I want the pendant and the girl. If you win, you can have Sprigatitto back. And Freed accepts. No concerns. He's like, I don't care. Let's do it. We gonna battle. And the battle commences. The rematch, Captain Pikachu, Ceruledge. It is going down. Pikachu uses his Kagebushin no Jutsu again. Again, I'm loving the double team. In Japanese is the Kagebushin technique. I can't wait to just keep making more Naruto jokes. And it's on. He goes in, he tries to Thunder Donkey Punch Ceruledge in the back of the head. Ceruledge ain't falling for it this time. It might have worked in the last episode. It's not working in this episode. We then get a very quick understanding of what that plan was, because we see we don't. We see Liko sneaking off. Liko sneaks off to go hunt down Sprigatitto, and she finds Sprig hiding behind it. Not hiding, but locked in a room behind a locked door. And Liko just starts bashing on it, man. She's throwing her shoulder into that door. She's trying to knock it down to save her Pokemon. And after a very beautiful reunion, they start to escape. So you've got Liko, Sprigatitto, and Rockruff, who helped them search down for Sprigatitto. They're escaping, but Konia's here again. Konia appears, and she's like, my Sprigatitto, what do you think you're doing with it? And we're like, this ain't your Sprigatitto. It ain't happening. She's like, it will be. She's like, Sprigatitto, come here, Nyaha. And Sprigatitto just pooped up its nose. It's like, no, I'm not going to. I'm this girl's Pokemon. And yeah, a battle is going to happen. Konia's like, I'm not going to be snubbed like that. You ain't going to do that to me, Sprigatitto, not after all the bonding we've done. And she sends out her Skarmory, and she's like, your Sprigatitto will not be able to beat my Skarmory. Good thing that wasn't the plan, because battle number 2 commences now. And I call it battle. It's not really a battle. Sprigatitto launches yet another massive leafage, and it fills up the room. It blocks all the vision. By the time it's blown away, they're gone. They ran. I can respect that, though. She's a kid. She wants to get out of there. This is a mastermind criminal organization. She doesn't need this. And she's gone. We cut back to the battle between Amethio and Freed, Ceruledge and Captain Pikachu, only to see he notices Liko's just run away. He sees Liko running away with the Sprigatitto, and he's like, did you really just do that to me? Was this all just one big distraction to you? Freed's like, yeah, that's all it was. It was just a distraction, man. You got. So he's not a fan of that, and he wants to go in for the kill. Amethio, he wants to hurt Freed now. And Freed's like, you know what? Oh, I wish I could lift my shoulder more, but old injuries. He's like, you know what? Oh, that really hurts. He's like, you know what? I ain't giving you that luxury. And he jumps off the building. He jumps. Everyone jumps off buildings in this series, man. They've got like a base jump fetish. But then I think you could see what was happening. He rises back up. Oh, he rises back up on the back of his Lizardon, on the back of his Charizard, and he flies off. I like Freed, man. He's just a really cool character. He's just great. He's just really, really cool. And that's really it. We cut back to the Brave Asagi. Sprigatitto and Liko, they're hanging out. They're just talking, chatting. And Liko's like, hey, Nyoha, what do you think of the crew? What do you think of these people? Can we trust them? And Nyoha's like, meow. Yes. Yes, we can trust them. And that's kind of it. That's when Liko then approaches the crew. And it's like, you know what, guys, thank you. I want to tell you something. I trust you. There's not a lot of subtext. She just comes out. It's like, I trust all of you. And like, Nani? You didn't trust us before? And she's like, well, you haven't really given me the chance to talk. You haven't really told me anything yet. And to be fair, they haven't. Freed is terrible at it. But that's when we sort of get the official introduction of the Rising Vault Tacklers. And they're saying our mission statement, what we really want to do is solve the mysteries of Pokemon and the Pokemon world. So we are going to go on a lot of really, really, really cool adventures with these guys. I was originally thinking they were main characters. Then after this started, I'm like, oh, they're just going to be some here and there characters. I'm thinking they are going to be sort of main tertiary characters. They're not going to be as big as Liko and Roy. We haven't met Roy just yet, but they're going to be the main transport. They're going to be hunting down all these different types of mysteries, and it's just going to be a really cool time. Now, we find out that they are about to go somewhere. Freed's like, perfect. If you're sticking around with us, then we're heading to Paldea. We go into the Paldea region, we finding your mum, and we collecting our fee. And they're like, wow, did you have to say it like that? You could have said it so much more nicely. You didn't have to make it about money. And Freed's like, nah, fam, you need money to explore, and we want to explore. So they're going to Paldea, guys. Next episode, we're either in Paldea or we're going to get some journeys on the way. As much as I want to get there and see who Liko's mum is, I'm hoping we get a lot of adventures along the way. Maybe the end of the first season, we might not even be taking on the Pokemon challenge, like the gym leader challenge. That would be interesting. It's just going to be all about adventure. That's cool. I like that. So the end goal, instead of getting the Pokemon League, it's to get to Paldea and return to Liko's mum and grandma with the pendant and find out what that is. Along the way, though, I can't talk. We're going to have tons of adventures, and it's just going to be a really fun adventure series. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, that's going to be really cool. We skip to inside the Brave Asagi the next day, I'm assuming, or maybe that night, because Liko's in bed and she's video calling on her Rotom tablet. By the way, they are Rotom tablets. We're seeing them everywhere. She is talking to Anne, her roommate from the Indigo Academy. I think it was called the Indigo Academy, the boarding school she went to, the really messy girl. And she's like, hey, this is what's happened. She just gave her the lowdown on everything, but she's like, I need to tell you something. When classes resume, I might only be attending via distance. It might be a while before you see me again. So we're not going back to that school for a while, not for classes anyway. We are now on the road or in the sky, and the journey is on. The journey is on, and I am so excited for it. And it's like, you know what, that's fine. As long as we can video call like this, I think I'll be good with it. And that's great. Now, we finally meet Roy. We get Roy, and he's cool. He's just an energetic kid. I don't like him as much as Liko yet, but how can I? We've barely heard a sentence from him. He's leaving his house. He's saying goodbye to Gramps. He runs down onto the beach. He wants to throw some rocks at some boys, as in like buoys, the floating things in the water. He's not throwing rocks at young kids, at the buoys. And he hits one. Great, excellent, until he finds something washed up on the beach. And it is the flag from the Brave Asagi. The Rising Vault Tackler's flag has washed up on shore. I don't know how we're going to meet up with Roy and Liko. Maybe that's just the next area they're going to, especially if it's washed up after that giant storm that happened. But that's really what's going to happen. We're going to see them meet up eventually, but for now, they are still separate. It doesn't look like Roy has any of his own Pokemon. We know the Fuecoco is going to be his, and it's probably the Fuecoco that's on the Brave Asagi as well. I did want to mention, this is the first time I heard the intro to Pokémon Horizons, and it is an absolute banger. It is so good. I wish I could show you. It would be copyright so fast, but it is really, really good. I love it. It's really upbeat. It's one of my favorite intros. I can't wait to hear what the English one sounds like, but it's really cool. And I noticed, I haven't watched any of the previews for the next episode. I just want to go in blind, but there was sort of a kind of a new Poke rap. It's not going through all of the Pokemon like it was, but it was just kind of like an outro song, but it was weird. It was weird to explain. Maybe I'll make a separate video where we react to those two things. I'm sure I can find the clips on YouTube. And yeah, look out for those. We'll do both of them. I reckon it'll just be a lot of fun. Guys, this was episode 3, Pokemon Horizons. If I'm with Nyoha, I bet. Weird thing it is weird, translated directly from Japanese. So we'll wait till see what the English one is. But it was a great episode. The battles are phenomenal. Guys, if you haven't watched it yet, I don't know why you're watching me. Go and watch these episodes. They are insane. Guys, trainers, peace and love. Have a fantastic day.